Well, all right, all right, all right. It's Friday, Friday, Friday. And it is 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I don't even know where Donna is. But I do know where Timothy Bulu is. Timothy Bulu is in St.
Yo,
Petersburg, Florida, and he's ready to rock and roll.
yeah, chilling
How's
on
it
the
going,
patio.
Timmy?
Chilling on the patio.
Chilling on the patio?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Tell me what's the weather, man. We might be able to catch up with you today.
Well, my daughter just read the inside temperature at 83, so we're going to be shutting the windows down here soon and turning the AC on for the night.
83
Yeah, inside. A little humid.
inside. So what are you talking? Yeah, 79 outside there on the
Out here on
veranda.
my patio, yeah, it's probably mid 70s right now. There is a small breeze blowing here. We got our first possible tropical storm of the season brewing off the east coast of Florida right now.
Now you were telling me that you did solar last time. Is that gonna help with your Is that gonna help with your air conditioning?
It helps all the way around. The last couple of months' bills that come in have only been $12.83, and that's the connection fee because it's a 13.5 kW system, and I think I'm generating way more than I use, so I'm building a nice credit up.
So why don't you just like plug your neighbor into your stuff, man, and have him pay you directly and cut the middleman out?
The funny thing was, he actually was plugged into my system when they came to do the install, but they plugged him in front of my meter because the his electric feed into his house is buried, and something went wrong in the cable. So the only way they could hook him up was to run a jumper from my house over to his house until they could dig up the trench and lay new cable down.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, that's a good neighbor for you. I mean,
And
that's a good neighborly thing for you to do, right?
I never realized you could do that. And all I kept saying to the guys, "You sure this is in front of my meter, not behind, right?"
Yeah, I don't think they treat you like that, man. I don't think they treat you like that at all. Especially, I mean, was it the solar company or was it the
No, it was
consumers?
the Duke Energy is our local energy provider.
Okay, so there's no way that he's gonna do anything to, risk his job.
Yeah, but you know what kills me as I was working out the contracting on this, and the solar and whatnot. Um, the way the law is written down here in Florida, if I don't have a feed coming in from Tico, I can't use. I mean, from Duke Energy, excuse me. If I don't have feed coming in from Duke Energy, I can't use the electricity I'm generating off my roof, and that's how they make sure that I don't try to go off the grid.
Okay, so in other words, the solar contractor has to confirm that you have power.
No. The system constantly has to detect electricity coming in from the grid, so it knows you're still connected to the grid.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So, as I said to him, so what happens when the next windstorm blows through and my electricity goes out? He says, "Well, what do you do now?" I said, "I got a generator in my shed." He says, "Well, then you plug that generator in." And I said, "With a 13.5 kW solar generating system on my roof, I still got to drag my gasoline generator out."
Right. Yeah. Just to send that signal back to him. Ask him
No,
if you
no,
could put a couple.
I got to run my entire house off of that 13, off of my gasoline generator.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
See, I was gonna
they,
ask if you could like hook up a 9 volt battery.
yeah, they were gonna for an extra $10,000. They were gonna give me a battery system that would run everything in my house that's 110, but not the 220. So that would mean no stove and no AC.
For how long?
But however long the power feed was out from Duke, and I bought the generator because I had a couple of 2-day outages from storms. And then the very first storm that rolled in after I bought the generator, 5 days without electricity.
What? The whole city was without electricity for 5 days?
On my street, my side of the street, because the way they got the grids laid out, I'm on the east side of 17th Street. So my backyard backs up to everybody on the west side of 16th Street. And the electric runs between our properties. So everybody on the west side of 16th and the east side of 17th, from 66th Ave to 70th Ave, was without power for 5 days.
Wow. So were you sharing with your neighbors?
My neighbor across the street that I can look out my driveway and see, he had power, but he also had a live electric line arcing around in his backyard.
So that was probably your line that was arcing, and his was fine.
my line was over here. And what happened was about 5 houses down from us, the oak tree had grown all into the wires, and the branches came down and just basically collapsed all the wires on top of each other. So it took 5 days to get a tree crew here to cut all that debris out of the wires and get them separated again.
Come on now, you're Florida. Don't you have, emergency palm tree removal should be like a city service.
Yeah, that storm was so bad, dude, that we had tree crews in from as far away as Texas and as far north as North Carolina, and it was taking days for them to get through neighborhoods.
This isn't Andrew, is it?
No, this wasn't Andrew. Andrew was way back in the 80s. I'm going to think this one, I think, was Florence that we had back in 2005.
Hey, we got a viewer, man.
All right.
Alan Jones is jacked in.
Yeah, that's my buddy Jonesy. He was supposed to come over and have a couple beers with me today, but he said he's going to come tomorrow.
He's going to come tomorrow. Sounds like Alan's a little camera shy.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, what else is going on down in Florida that we need to know?
Well, I am watching my honey-do list slightly shrink. It shrinks, expands, but it is more shrinking than expanding.
And is that because you're getting stuff done, or because you
killed your wife? There ain't nothing else to do. So I work till 5 p.m. and they're keeping on us every week in the big weekly staff meeting about making sure you're making a defined separation between work life at home and life at home. And I told them, I said, there's no problem at my house, because 5 o'clock I crack open that first beer, there's no more work happening.
Okay, I ain't mad at you.
I should delineate that there's no more work happening not in the yard.
Something happened to audio. Is it me or you?
You there?
There you go. That's better. I hear you now. What'd you do? Put your beer on your microphone? Close enough. I don't hear anything. Are you breathing? Say something.
Still with me, Paul?
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. I kind of lost you too. You're quiet.
Your friend Alan, he's asking how to turn it on. He said,
he just tried to call me, and that's when things seem to go bad.
Okay. Well, I put the link up in the chat here, so he can see the link.
Let me go back here and check and make sure. Okay.
If he wants to join in, he can hit us up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. I don't know where I'm listening.
All right, everything's turned back up again.
Right. So I was thinking about a road trip. You know my brother Sizway. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. I know you're talking to me.
All right, I'm gonna replug my headphones in. Is that any better?
No, not much better. I'm gonna duck out and duck back in again and see if that fixes the problem.
All right, well, you do that. It may be me, but I'm going to talk to the people at home that are watching. Hey, guys, how you doing? Paul Herring here, WFOV 92.1 LPFM Flint, and Spectacle Productions. We want to encourage you to get your show on, especially if you're interested in doing a radio show, a television show, maybe a webcast, possibly a stream or something cool like we're doing here. Give us a call. 810-259-9789 is the radio station's number. And the TV station can be reached at 810-239-2901. Remember, Spectacle Productions, we're determined to make a difference, but we need you to too. 810-239-2901. What are you guys laughing at over there?
So you can hear me now?
I can hear you.
Man, I was
ugly.
laughing because I saw Alan's smiling face pop in.
He's almost as ugly as you are, Tim. My God. Don't you?
And that's
Would
why
you
we
believe
get
it if I
along so
told
good.
you we're brothers from another mother?
I see that scotch in your hand. I know your brothers from the same packy.
That's my brother I told you that makes the moonshine apple pie.
Oh, okay. So now he's teasing us with it, right? Nice. Welcome, Alan. Are you? I take it you're in St. Petersburg?
That's some bourbon, 1792 Maker's Mark.
Yeah, he's up in Clearwater, Florida, Paul.
Clearwater. Okay.
Hey.
Is there a temperature difference? Isn't it cooler in Clearwater because you're closer to the water?
No,
Tip.
Clearwater, he usually gets the storms before I do.
Come on now. Uh-oh, we lost Timmy?
No.
No, we lost Alan.
Oh no.
Yeah, he'll probably be back.
That's my buddy I told you. That's the fire lieutenant for first responder, paramedic.
Okay, up in Clearwater or down in St. Petersburg?
Well, he works for the city of St. Pete, but he lives up in Clearwater.
Nice. I guess that's not unusual. Clearwater's only, 10, 15 miles away?
Yeah, yep. You and I went there one night when you came down here. We went up to the original Hooters.
You're not supposed to tell people that. But who wouldn't
So I
go
shouldn't have told him the other place we visited that night.
who wouldn't go to the original Hooters? Who wouldn't?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at that. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed. It's like our Hooters here has got it going on a lot better than they did.
Yeah. That place was started by three guys, and they ended up selling it out to what's Hooters now. And then they opened up another competitor called the Wing House.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how did that work out for them?
The Wing House, they actually closed a couple of locations recently because they were afraid of it getting big again, like Hooters did, and they want to keep this Wing House small and local.
Okay, because I could have swore there was a Wing House in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta.
There may be, but it's probably not part of the original down here because those guys after their experience with Hooters decided to keep it local.
Okay. And I mean, it couldn't have been a bad experience unless they didn't get paid. I'm assuming they got paid.
Well, I think it just got too big and it wasn't fun anymore.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the Wing House is fun, though. I'm still in shock. I took my two sons there. One was 16, the other one was 12, and the costumes are the same, and yet my two sons were buried in a book the entire time we were in there.
And these are sons that you like?
I was like, what's wrong with this picture? Daddy's got the wandering eye, and the boys are just reading books.
Hey, that's fine, Timmy. You got perfect scapegoats. They don't care. You can take them with you anywhere. You can go to the booby bar next time as long as they got a flashlight. You'll be okay. As long as they got a flashlight, you're gonna be good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's one of my favorite spots. I tried to I tried to get some food this afternoon, and we waited too late. Everything's starting to close at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
that's
at 7:52, we decided we wanted to get a Big John steak and cheese sandwich.
oh boy.
And by the time the wife got there, it was 5 after 8, and they were closed. So she went to the next place, and it was closed, and the next place, and it was closed. I think we finally settled for Chinese food. So
I kind of went through that last weekend with Chinese food. My favorite delivery place. If you don't place the order by 6:50, you ain't getting it.
okay.
And it was like 6:55, and I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, okay, the website let me in and let me start picking all the food I wanted. Came time to go pay for it. It said, "When do you want this delivery?" And right now was not an option. I was like, "Damn it! They already stopped delivering for today. I can't get it till tomorrow."
Nice. Well, I've been a fan of Kroger's website and their shopping thing.
Yep.
It seems like there's not as much on the website as there is in the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really do like being able to sit here and just go through and throw things in my cart, and then I create a shopping list to take with me to the grocery store, because the last time I clicked on delivery, actually last time I picked on delivery, it was like 4 weeks out
Ouch.
to get groceries delivered. For pickup, it was 7 days.
Wow.
So I'm like,
Yeah,
talk
man,
about a
that's
department that
if
needs some staff.
if their staff's doing the picking.
Right, right. And there's only 4 of them or whatever there is. They need, yeah.
So tell me something. I ain't been in a Kroger's in years. Does Kroger's do good fried chicken?
I never get any chicken, fried chicken or pre-made food. Usually they have those rotisseries, the rotisserie chickens at the front. And I haven't even gotten one of those. I've gotten them from Sam's, and they've been fabulous. I mean, the boys will grab one of those things for $3.50 and a big thing of French bread, and that's the beginning of a road trip for us.
Yeah, we got a supermarket similar to Kroger's down here called Publix.
Okay.
And man, their fried chicken, brother. My Marine Corps League, we stand out in front of Publix and ask for donations to help the wounded vets and whatnot. And when the door opens and they got a fresh batch of chicken in the fryer, my mouth starts drooling. I can hardly speak.
I think Alan's trying to come back. There he is.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. What's the matter?
This is hard.
Jump up in your lap and
What
knock
did you do?
the camera
Sprinkle
down?
some fire on it so you can figure it out?
No, somehow I was in 2 different ones and I was getting echoes and I was hearing myself, and I haven't had that much to drink yet tonight, so I figured there was something wrong.
You heard that caveat, right, Tim? The mere fact that he says he hasn't had that much to drink leads me to believe.
Yet tonight is the key word.
Tonight was the key word.
Well, what time I got to be at your house tomorrow, Tim?
Well, whatever time. I got a load of pavers already in the back of my truck, and we're ready to go. I just got to get up in the morning and do a little electric wiring without shocking myself.
What are you paving?
Well, down the side of my house there where they just replaced the fence.
Uh-huh.
They messed up the landscape and replacing the fence. But I knew it was going to happen. And I was looking at it and I said, you know what? Rather than just fix it, I'm going to pull it all up and redo it. New pavers, everything.
Nice.
Like I said, the honeydew list grows a little as it shrinks a
A
little.
little shorter, huh? Well, that's what you can do with that 10
Here's
grand you
Obi.
didn't spend on the batteries. Oh, you got a helper there. What's his name? Her name?
This is Obi.
That's Obi.
What's up, Obi? How's it going, baby boy?
Hold on, I got to get him back in the camera. Ask Tim about my computer prowess. He'll tell you it's not that good.
Obi's got it going on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Obi's my buddy when I go over to visit.
Yep.
Good for you. So has your governor done anything exciting this week?
He told all of the baseball and football teams, if your state won't let you practice or hold the game in your stadium, come to Florida. We'll find a space for you.
Did he really?
Yep. because Major League Baseball talking about they want to start the season on July 1st, and all these states started with, oh, that's too soon. They said, all right, we got all these baseball parks that sit idle all year long. Come on down.
Gyms are opening Monday.
What do you mean, like Planet Fitness and those guys?
Yeah, they're opening
Yep.
them on Monday, and they're putting restaurants up to 50%, but I still don't trust most of them. So
Well, if you think about the fitness places, you're on the machine by yourself. You can easily be 6 feet away from folks. And
Yeah, you just need to
Yeah.
make sure people are taking the wipes and wiping the machine down when they're done.
Here's the easiest way I say the 6 feet is I put my arm out like this. You put your arm out, and that's about 3 feet. So if our arms aren't both out fully extended, unless you got T-Rex arms, you're good.
Okay.
That's your 6 feet.
Well, here I had a little invention. I was going to put a beanie cap on with a 6 feet rope and just let that booger split with a knife on the end.
Have you seen the guy with the noodles?
Yeah,
He's
but
got
I
like
can
a,
tell you
like
about
a
the
mountain
noodle
noodles going on.
There's actually a restaurant that's now given its patrons hats with noodles on it like that to make sure everybody's staying 6 feet apart.
I don't know. Are you guys buying this? Are you feeling the COVID? Are you thinking it's legit? What are you thinking?
You know my sister Annette had it, right?
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
wait a minute. I think you did tell us that Annette had it.
the woman she was taking care of died from it. Annette went into the hospital overnight, but she's home and getting better now. So I know it's out there. I don't know who to trust because it seems like every expert that's trotting out on the TV is saying something different.
Well, yeah, and she was out overnight. Come on now. I mean, they're leading us to believe if you get this thing, it's right to a ventilator.
Yeah, no, it's not. You could have it and not have a damn symptom. But she, with her breathing was getting very limited, and she was out of energy. Yeah, so they brought her in because her oxygen level dropped below 95%. So they brought her in and put her on oxygen overnight, and then said, "Oh, you're stable enough. We can send you home."
You're better off being at home than in the hospital, truthfully, if you have something. That's why they're doing a lot of the surgeries that they normally do. They're sending people home like the same day if they can with hips and knees because you do not want to stay in the hospital.
I can tell you that before this COVID came up because I couldn't get any damn sleep in the hospital.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember those.
Except for when you came in and talked that nurse into giving me that Dilaudid that night. I slept good.
Oh, that's always a good one.
Till the Dilaudid wore off, then I woke up.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, I was in so much pain that night. Tears are streaming down my eyes, and thank God Alan was on duty. He came in with a patient in the emergency room, come to check on me, saw the tears in my eyes, went and grabbed my nurse and said, "Either you hit him with that Dilaudid, or I'm gonna go get some Dilaudid and hit him."
That's the Dilaudid talking, Tim. I couldn't have said that because I don't have Dilaudid. But I was going to make something happen for you, buddy.
Yeah, dude. After I was in so much pain though, but after that, when it took effect, I got up to walk down the hall and go use the men's room, and the two of them are just him and the nurse are just laughing at me, following me down the hall,
bouncing off the walls. I take it. I've never heard of Dilaudid before.
The morphine they gave me before that didn't touch the pain.
Wow.
That sounds
like some Michael Jackson shit right there.
No, Michael Jackson juice is propofol.
Okay.
Or as I like to call it, propofol.
I don't like the way you know that. I don't like the
Dilaudid
way you
is
know
hydromorphone. Dilaudid is also known as hydromorphone.
Okay.
And I call it Dilaudid. I've had it a few times. It's really good stuff.
Nice.
Man, when they started injecting that stuff into my chemo port, because my chemo port is right there, man, as soon as the nurse started to push, I could feel the pain going one way and the head going the other way, and it was like, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Oh, Tim, did I tell you I have a cooler of Bud Lights for us for tomorrow on ice already?
All right. Well, I just stocked the refrigerator up, too, so we're going to have plenty of Bud Light.
Okay. Well, I can Uber home or call the boss.
I got 220 pavers to lay, and that's only half the job.
You got sand
Ooh.
coming?
Oh, the sand. Well, I got 10 bags of sand. I put 220 pavers and 10 bags of sand in my truck, and my truck said, "Oh no!"
Well, hey, listen, I rented a dingo at 3:00 today. You guys hip to that?
Isn't that the animal over in Australia?
Nice. No, it's like a bobcat,
Oh,
but
okay.
instead of sitting in it, you stand behind it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I went and got it, pulled in the driveway, and then I had to come in here and do Whose Opinion at 5:00. And while I'm doing Whose Opinion, Marcus kept coming in and tapping me on the shoulders. He says, "How do you turn the thing?" And I said, "I don't know." And then he'd go away, and then he'd come back, and he'd say, "How do you?" And I say, "I don't know, man." And the next thing I know, he texts me a YouTube video on how to drive the dingo. And I heard him start it up, and he out there been wrecking the yard ever since.
Did you take the insurance out when you rented it?
Of course I did.
Dingo must be a brand name because that's what's known as a skid steer.
Skid steer,
And,
Toro Dingo. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah,
a skid steer loader. The
Yeah.
one we borrowed for Michael's project when we did the parking lot at the church for his Eagle project, Alan.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had one of those skid steers down there. Thankfully, I had a guy that knew how to operate it too.
Yeah,
You
we're
wouldn't
learning.
let me play with it.
We're learning.
I tried playing with it, and I was making bigger holes than I needed to be.
Well, I think that's going to be the. I think that's going to be the situation here as well.
Yeah.
I got it until Monday, but
All I kept thinking was,
I promised it out to a neighbor on Sunday. So we're going to try to bust everything out tomorrow.
all I kept thinking was, I should have gone with the Bobcat. I should have gone with the Bobcat.
Is that what you kept saying?
That's what I kept thinking to myself. I could have sat in the Bobcat and done everything and been fine with the Bobcat, but that skid steer and I just weren't getting along.
You know, they talked me out of the Bobcat. $100.
Because of the price?
$125. They talked me out of the Bobcat.
Yep. But you know what? What I ended up paying for that, because I ended up having to keep that skid steer for a day and a half to do what the Bobcat could have done in half a day.
Yeah. I mean, the bucket's definitely going to be bigger on the Bobcat as well. And I saw that. But the Bobcat wouldn't allow me to have the rotor-tilling attachment.
Ah, okay.
And we've got a big old compost pile that we've been working on for 2.5 years. It's probably 8 foot wide by 15 foot long.
So you planting a garden or you planting a new lawn?
Doing a little bit of both. I've got
Okay. Don't make me call you brother.
I've got a road that goes through the back of my property to the back field that I've adopted from the land bank here. So
Yeah.
we're making a road so my driveway can continue and S out through there. And then wherever the road isn't, we're tilling so that we can put dirt or grass.
Don't make me call you brother.
I've never done it before in my life.
Don't
Your
make me.
brother's the one that taught me how to do the compost. I call him.
Yeah, I know, but you know he'd tell you to plant a garden. Don't plant grass. You're not a cow. You can't eat the grass.
I got a garden, baby. I got a huge garden. As a matter of fact, I just bought asparagus. So that
Asparagus?
shows commitment. Okay, so asparagus takes 3 years.
You eat that asparagus?
Oh man, love it on the grill, dude. I cook it like a steak.
You know, I cook asparagus. I found the secret is that I spray a lot of Pam in the pan, and it slides out into the trash barrel that much easier.
Oh no, man! Put it on the grill like he's doing a little salt, little pepper.
Ooh,
I tried that stuff.
Try Montreal steak and olive oil.
But then again, I'm a
Okay, I
guy.
have some of that too.
Dip the tips in the olive oil and then spice it.
I'm a guy who likes Brussels sprouts, and everybody looks at me the same way.
I love
Brussels sprouts?
I love
You
them.
like Brussels?
I haven't
baby
figured out
cabbages.
how to grill Brussels sprouts yet. I can't do them on the grill.
I don't grill them, but I saute them with butter and garlic.
Yeah. Every
Steam
time,
them
every
up.
time I try to grill them, I end up putting them in an aluminum foil bag with some Italian dressing or some sesame.
Get you one of those Mr. Yoshida mats, those little gold mats. So that way, even for your asparagus, it keeps it from falling down through the grates.
Oh, that's no
You know that
fun.
those little copper mats that you see on TV, they say don't work. They
Oh,
actually
the
work.
crispy ones, man, are the best. The ones that hit the fire and go.
Well, it's the ones when they fall through and you can't get them back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I got a trap door on mine, so it's all a matter of speed.
No.
That's the smoke box.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how fast can you get it out? How fast? I ended up cooking out Mother's Day, and it was 40. I'm going to say 38 degrees outside. So
Brr.
I was on the porch with a coat on, wrapped up in a blanket with my tongs, cooking Mother's Day dinner.
You're a good man because that's too cold.
It was real cold. It really
When I
was.
first got the first winter back out of the Marine Corps, when I was listed back up in Boston, I shoveled off the front deck so I could get to my grill. You know, there's like 6-8 inches of snow out there, and I fired up the grill and threw a couple of steaks on. I went back in the house to watch the football game. My phone rings. I pick it up. It's my next door neighbor. He said, "Man, you ain't supposed to have it smelling like 4th of July out here."
You were getting complaints? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he was complaining right up until I told him to come on over for a steak and a beer.
Oh well, that way. That's the way to make friends, isn't it?
That's the way to calm down neighbors.
My neighbors are non-alcoholics, man. That doesn't work around here.
Invite them over for a steak and a root beer.
Now we've done that before. Listen, the house next to me is a rental house, right?
Yeah.
And the guy that rents the house, the first year he rented it to 4 interns. 3 girls, 1 guy. And they were fabulous. We had parties, and it was the kind of neighbors that would come over and borrow a cup of sugar kind of thing. And we had a 2-day going away party when they graduated med school. That was just a ball. And he hasn't been able to match those tenants yet. And I keep telling him, he's got to let me pick them. The last batch he had, oh my gosh, he said that his boyfriend picked the last batch, and it was obvious. It was obvious. So we're gonna see if he lets me pick this batch, and
When I bought
don't tell my wife.
when
There
I
will
bought
be
the rental
screenings.
house I had down the street for a little while there, neighbors all one by one made it a point to come over and tell me how bad the previous owner's tenants were, and how quiet of a neighborhood and how nice of a neighborhood and blah blah. And I'm like, I get the message. I told him, I said, calm him down. I said, I have a property manager who is going to actually be the person doing the screening of the tenants. So it's not going to be a revolving door. If they don't meet the financial criteria, they ain't coming in the door the first time. Well, unfortunately, I did have to evict one, but for the most part, they loved every neighbor I had, but I didn't pick them.
Right. That's what's your management company charge you?
She charged me 15% of the monthly rent.
15%, and they do move-ins, move-outs, and all that?
Yeah, she handled everything. The only time I would have to get involved, I did a lot of the handiwork around, unless I had to hire a professional. And she would tell the tenant, oh, the handyman's going to come by. So they all thought I was the handyman. None of them knew I was the owner. And, you learn a lot of stuff when people think you're the handyman and they don't realize you're the property owner.
Nice. What'd you learn? That the owner was a jerk?
No, I learned premature before. I shouldn't say premature, but I learned that one of my tenants was going to bust the lease and move out premature before they actually let the property manager know. So I was prepared for that. The tenant that I had to evict, I had a feeling after I went over and made the first repair that I was going to end up having to evict her because she started confiding a lot of things in me, thinking I was just a handyman. And I'm thinking to myself, there is no way that this woman's going to make it. And sure as heck, 3 months into the deal, I'm having to threaten to kick her out because she hasn't paid her rent. She makes up for it and gets caught up, and that works for 6 months. And then next thing you know, she's not paying her rent again, and I got to hire a lawyer.
James Taylor just popped in my head, Tim. Handyman.
Yeah. Now, you want to see more? Have you ever seen the movie Pacific Heights?
Yes.
My lawyer, the first time I went through this was property up in Scituate, and somebody that you and I both know that I was renting to. And my lawyer said to me, when we're done with this eviction, I want you to watch that movie and then decide whether or not you want to continue being a landlord.
You know, how do you protect yourself against Pacific Heights?
What I learned, and I learned it from her before watching that movie. Thankfully, that my lawyer was experienced in this kind of thing, and so she kept telling me, okay, here's the predictions I'm going to make.
Your camera's off. Set up your camera. I can't. There you go.
All right. So she said, here are the predictions I'm going to make. You need to be prepared for. And so when the tenant tried to get me to hit her, I realized what she was trying to do, and I put my hands behind my back and grabbed, fingers together, so there was no way that I was going to accidentally fly off the handle and hit her. When I needed to do work on the property, I made it a point of alerting days in advance and letting other people know, so that way there was never this, oh, he shut off the power to try to get me to move out illegally.
Okay.
Well, they tried. They damn sure tried. One of my cousins called me up one night from a party and said to me, did you sell your house? I said, no, why? She says, because they're over here telling everybody they own your house.
I think I remember who this is now. I think I remember who this is.
Yeah, you know who it is.
Oh, you guys go way back.
I'm just gonna say a big girl, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah.
Back when I was in, I think, sophomore year of high school, this new kid was walking around the school, and I introduced myself to him, and it turned out to be Paul's older brother, Sizwe, who now lives up in Tennessee.
Okay.
And so he brought me to his house, and I met Paul. I met his sister. I met the parents. They had just moved into town from Flint?
Detroit.
Paul's dad used to be a big wig with General Motors.
I'll say that. I'll agree. I'll agree. And we ended up in this little town called Scituate for God only knows what.
Dad didn't want to leave them right in Boston while he was assigned to the plant up there.
Man, Braintree, I think it was, but he got us there just in time for the blizzard. The blizzard of '78.
You can't ride your bike down the old railroad tracks like you used to come to my house.
That's because they're using them now, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a train that runs that track now.
Nice, you guys. Is it the end of the line, or does it keep going down to Marshfield?
No, Greenbush down by South Shore Auto Parts is the end of the line.
That's the end of the line. I thought it might have been taken down to Marshfield by now, because they did that like 10 years ago, didn't they?
They were talking about it, and the environmentalists went nuts because what they were going to do was they were going to build the maintenance garage and the turnaround actually behind South Shore Auto Parts, right along the edge of the marsh and the North River.
Yeah, that ain't gonna cut.
And the environmentalists went nuts, and it was like there was no way they were going to be able to reclaim the trestles and everything else that it was going to take to get it down to Marshfield Center, and with the other leg going down to Kingston, they said, well, there's really no need. People from Duxbury, Marshfield can either go to Kingston or they can go to Scituate.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's true. It's only another 30 miles or 20 miles, but I mean, isn't there original railroad track that track bed
It
that
went
already
all the way down to
exists?
Plymouth.
Right.
Yeah, it went all the way down to Plymouth, but once it got to the south side of South Shore Auto Parts, that's all environmentally
Protected.
delicate wetlands.
Yeah.
And then the old trestle.
You mean the
going
mud
across.
flats that we used to drive on and get rooster tails out of the back of the car on?
Yeah. That's now environmentally. At one point, because the environmentalists were really going off, so they said, okay, we won't take it all the way down to Driftway. And they said, oh, great, beautiful. They said, right about here on Stockbridge Road, we're going to build a trestle right across the swamp, across this field, and into the old sand and gravel pit. And everybody flipped out. Wait a minute, that's where our drinking water comes from. Okay, then you'll let us just keep going down to the mill, right? Yeah.
Sounds Greek to me.
The guy who was setting all that up, Alan, he knew how to play the environmentalists. So they tried to block him going one way. He told them, all right, so instead of me going down here where you say this is, environmentally sensitive land, I'm going to go right through your watershed, right through your drinking water.
Right, which is not protected.
Well, we changed our mind. You can go that way.
My goodness. What's it cost to get to Boston from Scituate on the train?
I don't know what it costs anymore. I took the kids the first year that it opened. We went up there for Thanksgiving. Me and the kids drove up. And just for a goof one day, I took them to Scituate. We jumped on the train. And we went all the way up to South Station, walked down to the aquarium, had lunch, and then got back on the train and headed back to Scituate. And it was like, I want to say it was like $7 round trip for me and like $3 round trip per kid.
Okay. I want to say I took that train the last time I was there. Either to or from Scituate. I can't remember, but I remember being on that train because I just had to smile because of where the station is was where we used to hang out, man, over there by
in Greenbush,
Mill, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in Greenbush. Oh yeah.
Donna Jenkins, Walter Barrows, all those guys.
At the bridge that I used to sit under and drink Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill, and Schlitz and Heffenriffer's private stock.
Right. So
Did
you
you
got
ever
a trip
drink
back
Mickey's
up to
Big
Scituate here
Mouth?
soon too, don't you?
Wait a minute, Alan never heard of Mickey's Big Mouth. What was that, Paul?
Alan's never heard of Mickey's Big Mouth. We're gonna disconnect
No.
him right
Tim's
now.
never heard of Mickey's Big Mouth. Alan was asking me if I ever drank it.
They look like little grenades. You're talking about stuff you drank when you used to,
Yeah.
We used to get those. They were a malt liquor. They looked like a little grenade. Had a pop top.
Listen,
Yeah.
dude, you were classier than
That's,
that.
that
We were doing
Heffenreffer's
Heffenreffer's private stock.
private stock.
Oh, I
Was
know what
brewed-
private
brewed
stock
from
is.
Brewed from a brewery up in Narragansett, Rhode Island. And when I was paying $2 a 6-pack for pint bottles of Green Monster, Miller Lite was $2.30 a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles.
Right?
Remember Boone's? We used to Boone's Farm Mellow Days.
I never had Mellow Days. I had Strawberry Hill and apple wine.
I found my thrill. Oh, that's Blueberry Hill.
On Fitz's Hill.
So neither one of you guys should be alive right now, is all I'm saying.
Well, I started flying straight and narrow when I got my job.
Paul.
You know?
Come on.
You started flying straight and narrow, so that was what, when you were 40?
Well, they say your 40s. What is your 40s are your new 20s, and your 60s are your 40s, or I don't know how it works. Just don't drink a 40.
Not a heavy reference private stock. That's liquid death, man. I'm surprised they even allowed that in the stores.
Paul, I think Alan's maybe 2 years older than you.
Oh, wow.
Or 2 years younger than you, excuse me. I think he's about 2 years younger than
I'm
you.
a puppy, man. I'm 7.
I just turned 55.
I'm only 76. Look good, don't it, for 76?
That's right.
Black
Well,
don't
they say I
crack.
just started being a paramedic yesterday, right?
Black don't crack, baby. I'm looking good.
I got a picture of Alan that comes up on my phone whenever he calls me, and he's wearing a T-shirt that says "I make 50 look good."
Ooh, that was a party. I think they told me I had to leave.
I tell you my favorite T-shirt. I was down in Key West, Florida, and a guy walked by. And he had a shirt on and it says, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20."
That sounds like Key West.
So tell me, Timmy, Black Mirror. Did you watch it?
I tried. I got to be honest with you. I put it on. I made it to, I watched the beginning part. I made it to 11 years later, and I watched about another 10 or 15 minutes, and I was like, oh God, I'm about to fall asleep. This shit's too dry.
11 years later, which one did you watch? The first one?
I don't know what it said. It was the first episode.
This one right here. No, the national anthem.
I
I think you were watching season 4's number 1. You got to watch this one.
Because this one started out with them as the two guys as young friends. It opens up with one of them being in a bar, and he's trying to acting like he's trying to pick up this girl using some of the corniest pickup lines ever. And she says to him, he finally says, "Can I get you a drink?" And he picks the right drink, and then she lets you know that they know each other.
I saw that one. That was the dating, the perfect match or something like that. Yeah. No, you can't start with that one, damn it, Timmy. This one,
Nope.
National Anthem.
National Anthem. All right, I'll try again.
National Anthem. And then there's another one called Nosedive. It won't let me get in here. And you might enjoy this Bandersnatch, too. Bandersnatch allows you to decide which way the movie goes. So there are certain points in the movie, and you can decide whether to slap your mother or get a bowl of cereal.
All right, well, what am I slapping my mother for? Because the food tastes that good?
Yeah, that's it.
Slap your mama good.
Slap your mama good.
Unfortunately, that's my favorite spice nowadays. We've got a brand of spice up here called
Slap your mama.
Love it. Are
we
you
were
a
eating
Black
in a rest-
Magic fan, Alan? Have you seen Black Magic or Black Mirror?
Do you got to do that Netflix whatever? You saw how hard it was for me to get onto this. Do you think I know how to do any of that stuff?
Oh, come on, Alan. You're 50 years old, baby. You're not 72.
Yeah, well, ask Tim. He'll tell you he's like he said, Alan's calling me. That means he's got a problem.
There's got to be an 8-year-old nearby that you can tap. I mean,
nope.
Oh, whoa. Be careful how you say that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wrong wording.
15 will get you 20.
I mean, do you have a niece or a nephew or a grandchild that can come over? I mean, anything between 5 and 7 ought to know how to do it.
I don't know. I have to figure it out. We don't let anybody in the house right now. You know, we got all that stuff going on down here.
I understand.
Hey,
but I thought you guys were going to the beach. You're a first responder, for Christ's sake.
That's what I'm saying. I try and stay away from it as much as I can. I don't go to the beach. I wear a mask. I wash my hands. If you wash your hands, that's a head start right there.
Right.
I had people come to me going, my hands are so cracked. I don't just. Well, that means you evidently weren't washing your hands enough, or it was the hand sanitizer. But it's like, come on, man.
My hands
really
up immediately after I wash my hands, and it doesn't make sense to put lotion on because the lotion just attracts the dirt. So I'm just letting them ash up. I think you
getting all ashy. I know what that is. I know what that is. I know exactly what.
Did you read about it?
Oh no! I've seen it. We were on a call one day.
A great stand-up about it. Have you guys watched Bill Burr?
I don't think I have.
I don't
You
think I've
haven't?
seen him.
He's got a sitcom called F is for Family, but he does a wonderful skit about dating a sister that lived in Harlem, and how she called him to come over one late night, and what it took for him to get his white self into Harlem. He says he was hoping it was one of them low numbers like 98th or 99th or something like that, where you could still look over your shoulder and see white folks. She said she was on 132nd. He says there are no cabs on 132nd. There's nothing. It's hilarious. I can't tell Alan to go check it out because he doesn't know how to Google anything. But
Well, I can
you do
Google.
it.
I can Google. I just can't Netflix. But I'll be at Tim's house tomorrow, so he could help me out.
Right. While you guys are doing pavers tomorrow,
Well, that's
throw on
we
some
got a
Bill
break.
Burr so you can laugh your way through the day.
So, did you notice what I got done this week?
What'd you get?
We got
Oh,
a haircut.
What is that for?
Ah, well, I actually put on that Marine Corps uniform today. Friend of mine's daughter got commissioned as a second lieutenant and asked me to give her first salute. So I had to get a haircut in order to put the uniform on to get to go do that for the young lady.
Yep.
Well, it looks like you did that haircut by yourself, Tim. I'm just asking. You don't have to fess up, but that kind of looks like you did that.
No, that's I went to my favorite barber and he gave me my favorite haircut.
The one around the corner that I took you to.
It's now located way up by the old Cody's up on the top of 4th north of Gandy.
Okay. I used to drive Tim around a lot.
Well, this is a feat for you, Alan. I'm super impressed that you not only got in once, but you got in another room. And
Well, the
then
only
found
reason I
your
got in
way
the other
out
room
and
was 'cause
got
I-
back in here.
I just kept pushing buttons and clicking and
You know your
I'm
wife
on
helped
stream.
you.
Nope, she's sitting over here going, "What is he doing?" Oh, he's sitting here next to me.
Okay, all right. Well, I was gonna give her all the credit because you've already fessed up to being a technophobe, right?
Pretty much.
You do know how to use the defibrillator at work, right? Isn't that electronic?
Oh yeah. Clear.
That's pretty much the same thing with Netflix.
I'm clear. You're clear. We're all clear. Woo! Let him ride the lightning.
I am not mad at you. Well, I started playing my game online, my City Skylines, and I'm finding it difficult to navigate, talk, and play at the same time, right? So I have this super duper gaming mouse that has a joystick where the thumb control is. So I said, well, why don't I map the movements to the thumb control, right? Simple, Timmy, right?
If you say so.
I mean, it's a PC thing. You guys do it all the time, apparently, because
I'm
can
not
only
a gamer.
find.
I don't map movements of the mouse for games.
Well, this is true. This is true. Yeah, you're not as classy as I am, but that's okay. We won't debate that. Okay.
All right, classy.
I earn a living on a PC. Once the workday is done, I'm done.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. It took me almost 3 hours to find a solution. And then it took me another hour to configure the solution. And I finally got it all configured, and I went to go live stream, and I couldn't click on anything. I could move around real good. I could zoom forward and back and do everything I told it to do. But I couldn't do what I told it not to do, was to allow me to click and double click, which is, if I can't do that, it's useless. So after a couple minutes, I figured out I had turned some stuff off, so I just had to go turn some stuff on. And now I'm cooking with gas.
Yeah, you and my son Thomas, because that's what he likes to do, is sit in there and rewrite shit so that his games play the way he wants them to play.
There you go. I mean, I'm not that interested in that. I'm interested in rebuilding the city of Flint in this game, City Skylines. And whatever I can do to make it easier to do that, I guess I'm going to have to teach myself. And this was a fine example of that.
Have you ever seen IBM's Second Life?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done Second Life before. I can't wait till they connect that to the Oculus.
Of course, I've met people who found ways to do things in Second Life IBM never intended you to do in Second Life.
It is not hard to do. 5 seconds after I was in Second Life for the first time, it happened to me. You know what I mean? It was almost like being mugged or jumped. I mean, once they saw I was in there, all these avatars just came and surrounded me and wanted to do nasty things to me.
Yeah, we ended up having to fire a guy because, the first time he was told, knock it off. The second time he was told, okay, if you're caught one more time, you're going to be fired. So when he got caught the third time,
he was addicted to Second Life?
On a work computer during work hours. It was just like, dude, the
whole concept of the whole concept is it's a second life.
Yeah.
It's not the one that you currently have. You're not supposed to be on it at work. Man, I can imagine for people that have disabilities that can't get around. It's fabulous. It's a whole world.
And see, there's something to be said for people that can't work computers.
We actually got into it because somebody came up with the idea of doing a 3D virtual tour of the entire campus.
Okay.
And that's how we got involved in Second Life. Yeah, we started using Second Life, recreated our entire university campus, and building by building, we're adding buildings and adding rooms and to use it. So a prospective student could take a virtual tour of the campus before they ever got here.
And register. They could sit there and register for school and sit in classes. I know NPR has a theater or a concert hall or an amphitheater or whatever, and you can go in and watch Science Friday and all this kind of stuff. It's fabulous. Like I said, if I lived on an island.
the SVP for our department, they mapped out his office exactly, and where his Apple TV was on the wall, if you walked up to it, an actual video would start playing of him welcoming you to his office and talking about the campus.
That's what I'm talking about. Second Life is it's brilliant. Did you guys see Player One, Ready Player One?
No.
That's a good movie. What's wrong with you, Timmy? I'm not going to tell you anything, Alan. Alan hadn't seen anything since The Sound of Damn Music.
No, Grease.
I was going to say Star Wars, 38 big weeks in downtown.
And today I went back and watched Rio Lobo from the War Wagon, 1967, John Wayne.
I knew you were going to say that, and I really was going to try to stop you from saying that, but I just wasn't fast enough.
Tim, he needs to come to Florida. We're taking fishing.
He's been down here a couple times.
Couple times. All right, Tim.
We'll have to show him some tumbles.
60 seconds. Wait, we're gonna let Alan say goodbye. Is anybody out there you want to say goodbye to, Alan?
No, my people are here.
Are you sure? You're gonna tell somebody to watch this, so you might as well say hi, Mom, hi, bro, hi, sister.
Oh, my mom don't get on this. My dad, he's worse than I am.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I almost sent Kyle the link to tell him to watch when he got to his sister's house in North Carolina. Now I can go back and send him the link and say, "Watch your daddy."
That's my son. That's a Marine.
Well, he knows how to do Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he knows how to do all of it.
All right, Timmy, say goodbye. We got 30 seconds.
Bye. See y'all next week.
See you next week. Hey, Tim, give me a call. All right, see
guys.
You.
Thanks
for letting me in.
Right here with Paul Herring and Donna Allen. What the heck happened to Donna? Donna didn't show up. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's Eclectic Ramblings. We're going to be here next Friday, 9 o'clock, and we want you to be with us. If you're interested in doing anything that we do, any of our live streams, any of our radio programmings, any of our festivals or events, give us a call at 810-239-2901. That's 810-239-2901. Peace. Oh, wait a minute. Mom, all the good I do is because of you. Peace.